this week's live show and tell with the Fabric Hut. My name is Mark, and I'm happy that you have joined us. Either you're joining us live, you might be on Facebook, Facebook Live, or over on YouTube. In either way, we're happy that you're here, and some of you might be watching this on the recording, and welcome as well. Again, my name is Mark. We're with Fabric Hut, and this is our show and tell for the week. These happen every Wednesday, about 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, where we showcase some new items or take a highlight of a featured product and talk a little bit about that, maybe some tips and tricks. We'll answer some of your questions along the way, and we'll take a look at things. So first things first is get us started. Whether you're live or you're watching a replay, if you type in the chat and let me know where you are watching us from, just kind of gives us an idea of where our geographic locations are for folks during this time slot, and it really helps us out. And to let you know, I'm in Oregon, so I'm on the West Coast. It's a beautiful day here in Oregon, and today we're going to be talking about our Prairie Blossoms quilt. But I thought what I'd do to start is I brought in an iris that is just now starting to bloom in our front yard along the front of the house here. This one was hanging a little low, so I decided to take it. But just, you know, we're going to be looking at some floral print fabrics, and I thought, gosh, this is such a pretty flower. As I was walking out in the front yard this morning, I thought I'd bring it in and share. Don't know how things are blooming where you are, but finally here in the Northwest in May, we're getting some flowers. Our tulips hit in early Easter, around Easter time, but the irises are not popping. All right, so let's, second question I have for you today is, how many of you have purchased a pre-cut quilt kit before? And what I mean by that is one that's already been cut and ready to go, like the ones we sell here at the Fabric Hut. So if you've purchased one before, say I did, and if you haven't, say I'm considering it. Just kind of get an idea of where everyone's at. So as we mentioned in the preview, the Prairie Flowers pre-cut quilt kit is the one we're going to feature today. And what I thought we'd do is we'll take you out and show you the fabrics. I'm going to come around. We're going to get close. We worked on our lighting from last week, so hopefully the colors will pop a little bit more for you on camera, and we'll go through that. But the big thing about the kits is that everything is pre-cut and ready to go. So these are our flower blocks, and then these are our base squares. And then, of course, we also send you long strips for your binding as well. And so that is part of your kit along with your pattern, which I showed you at the beginning here, your pattern. And then you'll get a backing fabric. This one will be a version of a white fabric, which is really cool. But let's zoom around, and I'm going to come around the other side of the table here, and we'll start digging into these fabrics a little bit and get a little closer to them. I'm just going to give you a little tilt here as we come in closer so that you can see just a little bit better. Hopefully bringing in just a little more light. There we go. All right. So obviously we don't need to look at the white blocks. We understand that. But as we go through the fabrics here on the white, isn't that great? Isn't that great? We got a little red here and then a pink right behind it. These are just beautiful, just super, super nice, super vibrant, nice little color scheme to go with. I think this one's a little bit more of an orange tangerine color. Got that pretty yellow coming up here. Sorry for the shaking. I think I had one extra cup of coffee today. One extra cup. Try to slow her down just a little bit. Got the purple one. Isn't that cute? I like purple, so that's going to be one that's going to fall. And then the pattern repeats throughout. I think there's a blue here. I think I missed blue and yellow. Just really great. And of course, your matching backing, or strips are here in all of those colors as well. So let's talk a little bit about the kit itself and why it's such a great beginner quilt kit for someone. The cool thing about this is when you are starting your assembly, it's really what we call a bricklayer process. And I'm going to kind of show you what that looks like here as we start here. So you're getting your fabrics, you're following your instructions, and one of the cool things about it is with this one, we say, okay, we're going to do this first block, we're going to match up the lines, and we're going to get ready to sew. So right here from the beginning, right out of the package, I'm ready to sew. I don't have to worry about getting out my trusty blade and my ruler and start cutting per the directions on the kit itself. I'm just ready to assemble. I'm going right to the fun part, which is putting it together and getting closer to a completed quilt. So that's kind of what we're going to do here. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to show you how, I mean, we just pulled it out of the package and we're going to sew it. We're just going to sew one up real quick. I mean, it's set up so that we can do that. Just going to zoom us in just a little bit, get a little closer here so you can see what's going on. This is an old Singer heavy duty that I'm using. This was my grandmother's. Really like it. It's been super helpful as we go. But as you see, I started with my base layer, my white block on top. I'm set up here with a 1/4 inch inseam, just like we should. You also see that I'm using the pack with the Post-it notes to keep my lines straight. I didn't get the foot yet or the guide, but this one works just fine. And I'm going to set up inside and we're going to get going. And just like that, that first brick is done. Okay. So here we have that first brick and it's done. And when we fold it out, we've got a nice straight seam and we're ready to move on. Now, one tip and trick is when you do this, and I've got one started here, we do it in a piece chain. So we're piecing it together and we're doing a chain. So as you go through your blocks, you're just taking one at a time. But as you go through, you just move past, of course, the move past your block or your fabric, leave a little bit of gap, and then you just stack and bring the next one in and you sew it. And so what that does, it gives you this beautiful long string, keeps everything together and matched up, because this is your first row sorry, we'll get it back on camera. This is your first row of fabric for this quilt kit. So the size is 60 inches wide, 72 inches long. That's the size of the kit that you're getting with us. And this one's ready to go. So the next step for me, which we won't be able to do on camera live today, but I would snip each of these off and then I would press. And here's another hint. When you are pressing, we'll go to a smaller one here. So as you can see, we went ahead and made our 1/4 inch seam. When you press out, we always press to the white block side. And there's a reason for that. If you press it all in the same direction going this way, when we bring the next blocks back, and let me just snip this one, even though it's the same color. When you're coming back on row 2, you're doing the same process, but you're just taking this block that was here. All we're doing for row 2 is that we're flipping it around and we're bringing it back. So then if we're pressed again to the white side, we are now right here and we're lined up perfectly on the seam. And this will allow us to attach these rows cleanly. So those are the 2 tips I have for you on the Prairie Flowers quilt kit: is set them up, run through as many as you can. If you can piece chain, that works really, really well. If you can piece chain your blocks and just get them all done, press them all at once, and remember to press to the white block side. Okay, just one more time as we're here. If I press this to the white side like so, when I come through, now when I nest them together, and again, I didn't get a great press here. Okay. Should be here and here, right? Now we can feel that seam when we're sewing it together. And that keeps everything nice and square and makes sure that when you come back around, everything lines up and you get a nice clean square and your pattern fills all the way out. Okay. So that is the beginnings of your prairie flowers quilt kit. And we'll move back up here a little bit. We'll talk a little bit more. I haven't seen any questions pop up, but if you've got them, please make sure you reach out. I just type them in the chat and Ricardo will make sure that I see them. But as I mentioned before, everything's here and ready to go. Every single one of your blocks. I mean, how much time would it take to cut all of these blocks, right? And that's the beauty of the kit. And you just continually assemble. I think one other thing I'd share as far as tips and maybe a suggestion just for fun is for those of you who have kids or grandchildren, nieces and nephews, or those who hang around the house that are the younger, and you want to get them involved in quilting and or at least see if they're interested in it, one of the things that I suggest you do is you're working the machine here, but it'd be really simple to ask for help from a younger person saying, hey, can you get this lined up for me? Just start creating these stacks. And that's the pairs that we're creating in this kit, is just having someone right here next to you, sitting next to you, having a good time. Maybe you're listening to music, chit-chatting, but just start assembling these little pairs for you on a block like this. And then by doing that, they understand how important it is to line things up. You're spending quality time together. And then at some point, if you feel it's necessary or warranted, you could have them jump in and sew on with your direct supervision and see how they like it. This could be a great way to get a young person or a beginning sewer involved in quilting. So that's just another quick tip and hint that I wanted to share with you on that. Again, this is the Prairie Blossoms quilt kit. Prairie Blossoms quilt kit. The size itself is 60 by 72. Oops, we'll get the line up there. There we go. 60 by 72. Now, if you want to make it bigger, we do have the instructions on the back and on the inside for construction of a larger quilt. So there are instructions here for a twin or a full or a queen and then a king. So people ask a lot of times, how do I do that? What we say and what we suggest is that you purchase an additional kit for the size that you're moving up to. So this one will again create the 60 by 72 throw. One additional kit will get you into enough fabric that matches and fits everything for either a twin or a full queen size. Okay, and if you want to go to a king, then yes, you buy the third kit and then you have enough fabric for all those things. Now, one thing to remember, if you want to make a larger kit, reach out to me or reach out to us at customer care at thefabrichut.com. You can reach out via email or respond to the order confirmation and say, hey, I'm going to be making a queen or I'm going to be making a king. And when we send you your backing fabric, we'll send you as much as possible. We'll send you a full length so that you don't have to piece the backing fabric together as well. So we can do that if we know ahead of time. Otherwise, they ship as individual kits. But if you want to make that a larger size, please let us know. We'll be happy to send that out to you. Okay. All righty. Okay, moving on. Here's a question. How do you press? What tools do you use to press your blocks when you're pressing? Do you use an iron? Do you use a fabric iron? In your normal household, do you have a little press? What type of things, and do you use a solution or not? I'd love to hear what you think about that, how you do it. I think all of us have our particular ways. We know we get comfortable with something that works for us and that we like. So, but sharing that is always interesting to see what everyone else is thinking. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. On the page, so if you've joined us, we have a special sale page for you. It's at the Fabric Hut on Facebook. And let me just find it for us here real quick. I had it. And so to get there, you would go to www.thefabrichut.com/pages/Facebook-live. Okay. And I'm sure that that's already been put in the chat a few times. But if you're listening and driving, or you're busy sewing and you're listening, that's where you can find that special deal, get you some additional a discount on your purchase through that link. So please feel free to check that out. On that discount, of course, is the Prairie Flowers quilt kit. And then, of course, we also have our excellent rotary cut blades. And so here is we've got our 45 millimeter, which is standard. We've got the larger size for the bigger projects at the 60 millimeter and the 28 millimeter blades. Titanium coated blades. They're designed to last and give you a little bit more length, a little more time of use with them. The titanium coating helps glide through the fabric, prevents it from rusting, keeps the edges sharp. It's a super way to go. Customers swear by them and order them all the time from us. Great item, and this is a great time to pick those up if you are interested. Okay. All right. Not seeing any questions pop up just yet. All right. So what else can we talk about? Talked a little bit about how easy construction is on this kit itself. It's a great beginner's kit. We've walked through the fabrics and talked about how those go together. Simple ways to piece this together. Remember, you're just building rows, opposite direction each time, 24 rows. And as you connect all of those together and you're lining up your seams, you quickly get to a finished quilt top that you can then get cleaned up, bound, and finished. While we're here, I think we'll also talk a little bit about the kit we talked about last week. And this is the Morning Glory quilt kit we featured last week. I'm going to show that to you since I have it. It's such a pretty quilt. You can see we are in a diamond pattern, floral prints with a white background, strip and block construction. We'll lay this down and we'll get a little closer to her. But this kit is special in that there are only going to be 1,000 of these produced. And we've been selling these. They've been moving pretty quickly. Still have them in stock. But as you can see, in beautiful colors, great fabric, always quilt quality with us. Super, super cute design. Great gift for Mother's Day. Great spring themed quilt kit. There we go. Trying to do, oops, sorry about the jolt there. We do not have an extra cameraman yet. But there is the kit itself. This is called Morning Glory. It's available on our website. There's only 1,000 of these being produced. I think it's setting up to be a really great kit. And again, with your kit, you get all of the pre-cuts ready to go. Your pattern, all in one clean kit, and then you'll get your backing fabric as well. I believe this one is a purple theme, purple color. And I mean, just to feel, I mean, when I feel the fabric on this, of course, it's great. The colors pop. It's going to last. They did a great job with the quilting on it. Super nice job. Just a great, great quilt overall. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, these are designed to be short. We'll always go long with questions and what have you. But reminder, we'll be back next week at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, here with our show and tell at the Fabric Hut. Appreciate you being here or watching this on the catch up. Oh, there, I do see some comments. Oh, you know what? we're still learning here, and I didn't see that I had clicked the right button for comments. I see Pam there. How much is the kit? Okay, so how much is which kit, right? So the Prairie Flowers kit itself, okay, is with this link that you're getting through the live is at a special price of $125.08 plus shipping. So you're getting 10% off right off the bat with us today, ordering through the live. So Pam, that was 125.08. I need to write that down. Excellent. And then Cindy says she uses water in a mister bottle. And a thank you for the share, Cindy. Appreciate that. All right. Power outage in Western Mass. All right. Sorry about that. We were very socked in over the week. Let's see, a couple other things. I still have a UFO pile, right? Unfinished, yep. Awesome. Coming in from Iowa. Great. Hey, I appreciate the engagement here and the questions and the comments. Super helpful to not be here by myself. You know, you never know who's watching. You're on one side of the camera, and you sometimes feel like you're just talking to just anybody or nobody. But yeah, great opportunity here, especially with the pricing on the Facebook Live to jump in. And if you were curious about the Morning Glory, the bigger quilt I just showed you, 147 or 148.97, $148.97 for that one as well. Okay. All righty. And yep, thank you for posting that into the chat. So if you're looking, click your chat, and you'll be able to get that special pricing for not only the blades but for the Prairie Blossoms kit. And then while you're on the website, you can check out all the great pictures of all the kits that we sell, and you can grab another one to put into your stash pile for later as well. Yep, I think 10 viewers here on Facebook Live. I know we're streaming in multiple places, including YouTube as well. We're live on YouTube today. So if you're over there, I may not see your comments, but we'll work on that in future. Okay, any other questions I can answer? Happy to be here, spend some time with you on this beautiful afternoon. And again, if you missed it, we did share the just spring flowers, spring out of the gardens. Beautiful iris that just popped in the front yard here in North Central Oregon. And okay, and then we'll close that out. All right. Hey, again, thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in, whether you watch live or you're catching the recap. Look forward to seeing you in a future episode. And like I said, looking forward to reading your comments. Thanks a lot. Have a great one.